So after about 25 days living in Lena's garden, Porky, Kermit, and I set forth on the dream. After years of planning and armed with Jack Kerouac's On the Road, we are finally getting started on our new nomadic journey that I have been planning and dreaming of for years and years and years. If you would like to follow along, please be sure to like and subscribe. Come along for the literal ride, kids, because we got places to see and things to do, people to meet, and food to eat, kids. So I want to talk a little bit about why I am moving south as fast as I'm moving. We are definitely not slow traveling right now, but this is my first Schengen Shuffle. So I've been in the Schengen zone now for, I would say we're pushing about 30 days. And I have things I want to do back up in Germany later this summer, which means I need to get out to conserve those days. So what is the Schengen zone and why do you need to shuffle around it? Well, for non-EU nationals, non-Schengen nationals, you only get, on a US passport, 90 days across the entire region. It does not work like you get to go to France for 90 days, then you can move to Germany for 90 days, then you can move to Spain for 90 days. It's the entire region of about, I think, 27, don't hold me to that, but 27, 29, 26 countries that use a sort of shared border system. So I can only be in the zone for 90 days out of every 180, and it is rolling. It's very complicated to calculate, so if it's of any importance to you, I'd suggest that you get you a Schengen calculator app and use that and be on the conservative side with it at all times. Especially traveling in a vehicle, I never know if the car's going to break down, and of course they're not going to have a part wherever I am, and that's going to take 2 weeks to get something in, etc., etc. So that is why I am making a beeline down to at least Montenegro, probably end up in Albania as well, but to kind of lay out of the Schengen zone until about July 1st, at which time I'll move back in and then going to meet up with some friends and have some things planned and do some traveling around then as well. So that's why we're moving very fast. Another thing, Kermit the van drinks diesel fuel like I drink beer, and we're currently spending close to $100 a day. No, 130 a day on just fuel. So if I was slow traveling, which is the ultimate intent of this whole gig, right? Then, I'd park up at a campsite or free camp and just chillax for a week or a few days and, cook meals, that type of thing, do a little sightseeing, what have you. I don't have any plans for Montenegro. I'm kind of attracted to the Kotor Bay. We'll see where I actually end up once I'm down there. And see how long I stay or whatever. It'll depend on what kind of accommodation and how much I can find, and really just how jonesy I get about wanting to head on down into Albania. But it'll be at that point that I start slowing down for the next probably 4 to 6 weeks before I beeline back up into the Schengen zone. Well, after 4 hours driving, this is my first campsite in Europe. Where am I? I'm at Camping Club Rangau, just outside of Nuremberg. This is going to be day one. This place looks fantastic. $31 got me a pitch with me and Porky. And what else? Electricity. Can't beat that. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. So we are on day 2. So I'm leaving Nuremberg. It's about 15 after 9, and we are headed down into Austria towards Graz. I have a campsite picked out for tonight. Hopefully they're going to have a pitch. I'm not making a reservation. There, Porky. Anyway, one thing. I promise I'm going to sort this audio out. I do have my mics and blah blah blah. Not that anybody's watching this or gives a shit. But you know, I was gonna be all set to do it, but now I'm ready to go, and the connections are in the back of the van, and I'm not digging it. So anyway, guys, let's go figure this out. Enjoy the ride. I am currently headed. I'm outside of Rosenberg, Germany, and I'm headed towards the Austrian border, and I can already see these mountains are starting to look awfully pretty. I have never been to Austria before. Austria will be my 27th country, and it will be pork chops second if you don't count the United States. And I hope like hell I've got this toll vignette thing sorted. I went through the booth. I've registered it. I've got my account. But you know how this shit goes with me. We're off. Day 3, Schengen Shuffle, Austria to Croatia. Today will be country number 28 and 29 for me. And Porky will be number 3 and number 4, not including the United States. Isn't that right, Porky? Here we go, bud. Let's sit back and enjoy the ride, y'all, because there ain't nothing else going to be going on today. So I have been thinking a lot about why I am so driven to the point of fanaticism about doing this, right? This type of travel. And I think that when it comes to people, there are 3 different groups as it would pertain to travel. The first is those people who do not like travel at all. You know, they would rather stay home. They don't like even leaving the county for whatever reason, be it maybe the fear of the unfamiliar, or just having to give up the typical comforts of home, what have you. Then there is what I call the second group, which I think most people kind of fall into. And that is, the type of people that say, when I retire, I want to do some traveling. Or people who say they enjoy traveling, right? And they take, whether they're retired or not, they take that trip to Paris or Rome or Athens or Machu Picchu, and they've had their trip, the quote unquote once of a lifetime experience, and they're reasonably good with that. They don't sit and pine to return or return to a place that they've already been. Then there's people like me, I guess. And that's, I suppose, maybe being a nomad at heart, I don't know. But I've never been to a place that I did not want to return to. In fact, I have a philosophy that I tend to follow, and that is always leave a reason to go back to a place. Like, don't try to see it all. Take some, quality and value time in seeing what you're seeing. Take some time to be in the place that you are. Generally, I find that I take a trip, I'm gone 2 weeks, and I start to hit a wall at about 2 weeks. And that is either A, I want to go back home, or I need to just stay here where I'm at, right? And I think where that comes down to is just, you do get tired out of living in a suitcase and in and out of taxis and on and off trains and on and off planes and that type of thing. It is really physically exhausting. So I get to a point where it's like, I either need to go home where my things are, my life is, or I need to set up shop here. And I think with slow traveling like this, it's like a turtle. I'm carrying all of that, my home, around with me everywhere I go. So I think that's how people kind of are broken into. I mean, I don't like to generalize, but I'm not one of those that could say, one trip to Paris in my life is enough. The 20 times I've been to Paris in my life is not enough. And that's just Paris. So I am, driven to do this. I've been obsessed with doing this. So now we're doing it. So during COVID, like so many of us, I started looking around and taking some inventory of my life and was asking questions like, why am I doing what I'm doing, And, the universe gives us all a hand of cards that we need to play. My hand of cards did not include children, and for all intents and purposes, at least at the time being, does not include a spouse or significant. So it's just me and Porky. So I began to ask, how much longer do I want to continue to work? And then, of course, the inevitable question is, how long do I need to continue to work? And so I started looking at that. Then, as part of the answer to that question, how long do I need to work, continue to work? It's, well, what do I want to do when I am no longer working? So the first thing I started looking at was, expatriation. What does it take to become a legal resident in another country? So I start looking at that. I look at, Ecuador and Panama and things like that, residency by investment. Several countries still offer some pretty good deals. Others, not so good. Portugal. And then I'm like, well, as I start looking deeper, a lot of expatriation, even for retirees or by investment, require a certain amount of time you've got to stay in country. And what I was finding, which is fine, I totally get that, they're going to give you residency in exchange for you spending money or investing money in their in their economy, which means you kind of need to be in the country. And I get that. But what I was finding is that was starting to interfere in conflict with what my goals were. And my goals were to travel. So if I've got to maintain 6 months in a particular country, knowing that I need to be in the United States visiting family for several months, and that only leaves a small amount of time to actually do some traveling, even using that country of residency as sort of the base to explore the region that you're at. And anyway, for now, I don't think that is for me. So then keep looking, keep researching. Slow travel came up. I'm like, okay, so I stay in a place or a region like the Schengen, which I'm trying desperately to get out of as quickly as possible, for as long as my passport allows. And, US, UK, Australia, Canada, New Zealand passports, we're very privileged, at least for the time being, to be able to stay in a lot of places for a period of time, generally 90 days, visa free. I thought, well, if I keep moving around, this might be the way to do that.
In 500 meters, merge onto A9.
Time for coffee. And we are entering Slovenia, and I have no idea what is happening here. This is country number 28 for me, and number 3 for Porky. Now I know we've got a toll system to deal with here. I do not have vignettes, so I guess we do a sales point. All right, I don't know if I'm legal or not. Here we go. All right, kids, let's head to Montenegro. This will be my first physical border crossing. I have no idea what to expect. Hopefully there'll be no issues with me, the van, or Porky. So we'll see. Here we go. I have my shit ready. So the Schengen Shuffle is almost over. I'm at the border crossing between Croatia and Montenegro. And it looks like I'm going to be here for a little while. So I'll pick you back up on the other side because I don't like you filming through these things. All right, that is my first Schengen Shuffle complete. We have stamped out of Croatia, stamped into Montenegro. So I'm going to leave it here. Appreciate you coming along for this ride. I'd love it if you'd click like and subscribe and continue on this journey with me. We're going to pick this up somewhere in Montenegro, I reckon. And I'll see you then, kids. Cheers.
Use the right lane to take the A9 ramp to Slovenian Graz. Slide left onto the ramp to A9, then use the right lane to take the A9 ramp. Take the exit towards Zonk Michael, then turn right onto Kermit Strasse.